To start this lesson, make sure you reset the default preferences and you start Illustrator. Then we're going to open up the N file. So you can choose File Open or click Open. In the Lessons Lesson 15 folder, open up L15end.ai. This is the final of what you're going to create by adding imagery into your artwork here. Let's open up the initial file that we're going to work on. So choose File Open. Open the L15 start.ai file. And you might see the missing fonts dialog box. Go ahead and click Activate Fonts so you can activate all those. And click Close when it's done. Go ahead and skip this message. And what we're going to do is we're going to go in and save this file. So choose File, Save As. Make sure you save it on your computer. Call it Social Travel. Make sure Illustrator is chosen for the format or save as type. Click Save. Click OK in the Illustrator Options dialog box. And let's reset the workspace. So come up to Window, Workspace, make sure Essentials is chosen, and reset Essentials. Then, so you can see everything, just to make sure, choose View, Fit All in Window. We're going to start out by placing an image. We're going to place a JPEG file. So choose File, Place. In the Lessons Lesson 15 folder, go to the Images folder, and you should see we've got a series of images in there. Let's choose mountains2.jpg. Make sure that Link is selected. That way it'll link to the original. If you make it update, it'll update in here. Click Place. You should now see the loaded graphics cursor. You can see a 1 of 1. That means that there's only one image. Move it over the left side of the mobile design. And what I want you to do is click to place the image. We'll go somewhere right over here. You'll see an X on the image. That actually means that it's linked. Okay, linked to the original image. And you can see the words linked file up here at the top of the properties telling you that it's linked to the original image. After you place an image, you can transform it. You can resize it, move it, do what you need to do. We're going to scale this to begin. So with the selection tool selected, press and hold the Shift key, come to the corner and drag so it's just, just a little bit smaller than the, a little bit bigger, rather wider than the artboard itself. Release the mouse button and then the key. I might actually move it over to match the book a little bit better, something like that, and then scale. It doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. Look over in the Properties panel at the top and you're going to see Linked File. Click on that and it'll actually show you the image name, the fact that it's linked, and it'll also give you other information. Click the little Link Info arrow here and you can see a bunch of information about it. Size, scale, PPI or resolution, dimensions, etc. In the book I explain a little bit about what PPI is. Go ahead and press Escape to hide the panel. And then we want to flip the image. So click the Flip Horizontally image right here. And it just flips it across the center. All right, leave the image selected and save your file. If you've got an image like this one and there's parts of it you don't want to see, you can actually crop it. Now this is permanent and you'll see what I mean. With the image still selected, come over here and click the Crop Image button. That's going to tell you that it needs to embed the image, which means the image is going to become part of this file, no longer linked. Click OK. And what it does is it tries to figure out how it should crop to start with. What I want you to do is drag the handles. We're going to crop it so that it crops to the edges of the artboard here, and then crops the top and the bottom a bit. I'll go up a little bit here in the bottom. Something like that. All right, if you come over here and you see PPI, click the menu. You can see that you can change the resolution of this image by lowering it. You can't increase the image though. Okay, move the pointer over the center out here, and what I want you to do is drag the crop area a little bit. You can kind of move it around, see this? I want to make sure that it's still cropped to the artboard pretty much, but just drag it up or down a little bit. All right, click Apply to apply the crop. That permanently cuts off or hides all the stuff around here. So there's no going back here unless you undo. If you need to drag it a little bit, you can. Drag it into place just to make sure that it looks right. I'm actually going to make sure that it's on the button here. Yeah. And to send the image behind all the other content, click the Arrange button and choose Send Backward. You're going to need to do this a few times. There's 1, 2. There we go. Choose Select, Deselect, and save your file. The layers from Photoshop and then turn them off, lock them, delete them, whatever you need to do. In Illustrator, you can also place multiple images at once. Let's do that. Choose File, Place, Lesson 15 folder, Images folder, select hills.jpg, then command-click the icon.jpg file here, deselect Show Import Options so we don't see those, and make sure the link option is not selected. That way we embed these. Click Place. Move the cursor over here once it shows up. There it is. And you can use your arrow key right and left to cycle through the images so you can pick the one you want. Make sure this one's showing. Come up over here, and what I want you to do is just press and drag to place it. All right, now move the cursor into the bottom right artboard over here and come up to the upper left corner of the artboard as best you can. Drag past the lower right edge of the artboard here to make it bigger and let go. Click the Properties panel tab here, and to arrange all the content behind everything, click Arrange, Send to Back. Leave that image selected and choose File Save. Go ahead and save your file. Now we're going to hide part of an image using a mask instead of cropping. With that image still selected, in the Properties panel, click the Mask button. You should see it right here. That's going to create a rectangle, essentially, that's a mask. That's the size of the image. It doesn't look like anything happened. It's crazy. Click the Layers panel tab over here, and then click the Locate Object button so you can see it in the Layers panel. I'm going to drag the left edge of the panel here so you can see more. You're going to see that we have clipping path and image. Clipping path is just a rectangle that is going to cut off part of the image. And that's what we're going to do next. We're going to edit the mask. Now we're going to edit that mask. So click the Properties panel tab, and with that Hills image still selected on the artboard, you can see up here we have two buttons. We've got Edit Clipping Path and Edit Contents. Edit Clipping Path is the rectangle I told you about that Illustrator made for us, and Edit Contents is the image. Click the Edit Contents button, click the Layers panel tab, and you'll see it actually selected the image. Click the Properties panel tab, click Edit Clipping Path, go back over to Layers, and you should see what it selected, the clipping path itself. That's the rectangle that's going to hide part of the image. All right, with the clipping path selected, drag the lower right corner so that it cuts off part of the image, like that. Now with the Properties panel showing, click the Edit Contents button and you select the image. See the difference there? See the size difference? Drag from within the bounds of the image here so you can reposition the image a little bit. That looks pretty good. All right, go ahead and deselect by choosing Select, Deselect, and save your file. Now you can have Illustrator create a mask for you, or you can do it yourself by creating a circle or some other shape. Select the gray circle to the left of Adventure for All right up here, and zoom in by pressing Command and plus or Control and plus, and drag it on top of the image here. Now it's going to be behind, so go ahead and choose Arrange, bring to front, and then shift click the image, and come down here and choose Make Clipping Mask. That's going to use the circle as a mask. Now to move and resize the image, double click in the circle. It enters isolation mode. You can move the pointer over the image and select it. You can then make it smaller if you want by like shift dragging a corner, that kind of thing. I'll make it a little smaller this way too. Then you can drag it around if you want. There. Press the escape key to exit isolation mode. You can click away. You can then drag it onto the artboard and put it back over here. You can then click the Arrange button and choose Send Backward so it's behind what it needs to be behind. It should go behind an icon. Let's see. Can't send it all the way to the back. I could have selected the icon, and there we go. There it is. Move it around, try and get it centered. You can use your arrow keys if you want to move it. Alright, choose Select Deselect and save your file. Then choose Fit All in Window. We can also mask something like an image with text, and that's what we'll do. Click the PSD on the top right artboard that you placed. In the Layers panel, come on over here, click the Locate Object button right there so you can see it again. Click the visibility column to the left of the beach image to show it. So we'll show that beach image. Then come to the Selected Art column, which is right here, and click to select only that image. Alright, choose Edit Copy, and then Edit Paste. Choose Edit Paste to paste another copy. There are now three of those images showing. Okay, over in the Layers panel again, click the eye icon to the left of the beach image in the photo frame over here to hide it so you see this again. And I'm realizing that this is not quite big enough. There we go. I'll just drag a corner. Okay, drag one of the copies on top of the Explore Paradise text right here. And we're going to use that text to mask the image. Click the Properties panel tab. Click the Arrange button, and we're going to arrange it behind everything. So choose Send to Back. There we go. Now, we're going to make a copy of the image and put it behind. This is kind of weird, but choose Edit Copy, and then Edit Paste in front. We now have two of the same image here, one on top of the other. Hide the copy by choosing Object, Hide, Selection. So you still have one. Click the image, and then shift-click the text. In the Properties panel, click the Make Clipping Mask button right here, and you mask the image with the text. So let's finish this area down here. In the Layers panel, come over here, click the visibility column for the beach image you hid in the last section at the bottom. So right there. Select the rectangle tool in the toolbar and draw a rectangle that's the size of the image roughly. So I'll do something like that. Come to the Properties panel and click the Fill box. And we're going to select like a dark gray swatch. I'll do like that. Change the opacity to 80% so you can kind of see through it. There you go. And then to send it behind everything, click the Arrange button and choose Send to Back. Now it's behind all of this. I want to bring it in front of the image actually though. So click the Arrange button again and choose Bring Forward. And there we go. Choose Select Deselect. And next we're going to work on an opacity mask. Let's create an opacity opacity mask. These are actually pretty cool. With the selection tool selected, select the final copied beach image right here and drag it right about here. I'll put it right up on the image there. Select the rectangle tool. We're going to make a mask and drag to create a rectangle that covers most of the beach image. All right, press the D key so it sets it at default black 1-point stroke with a fill of white. Select the selection tool, and I need this to be a little smaller, so we have to be able to select the image. You can drag across too. While pressing the shift key, click the beach image to select it as well. In the properties panel, click the word opacity. That opens up the transparency panel. You're going to see a button in here called make mask. Click that. Now, it's not doing anything. It's basically just hidden the rectangle. That's because of what you'll see next. Black hides, white shows. You'll see that. To finish the opacity mask, let's edit it. Choose Window Transparency, and that'll open up the same panel you just saw by clicking opacity over here. In the transparency panel, shift-click the mask thumbnail right here. That's the mask. This is the image. Shift-click the mask thumbnail again. That just hides it, basically. So you can see it's hiding it, showing it. All right, make sure the mask thumbnail is selected. Go ahead and click on it. That way you can edit it out here. Okay. In the Properties panel, change the fill to the white-black gradient here. Now make sure that the fill box is selected down here toward the bottom, and then select the gradient tool. We're going to adjust the gradient now, so move it right here and drag to the left. Kind of like that. Don't go too far, it'll look like it's cut off. You want it to fade. Take a look at the mask now. So look at the thumbnail. You're going to see that black hides, white shows. And gray is kind of in between, so it's showing it kind of transparency. This is called an opacity mask. All right, click the image thumbnail. That way you select the image out there. Then click the link icon between the thumbnail and the mask. With the selection tool, come out here and drag the image to the left a little bit. All right, now make sure those are connected again, so click that broken link to make them linked. Drag the beach image to the left a little bit more just to cover up some of the other part. There we go. Shift-click the mountains image, and we're going to send these to the back. So choose Object, Arrange, Send to Back. And there we go. Choose Select Deselect, and save your file. When you work with images, sometimes you're going to want to see the link information. In other words, is it linked? Is it embedded? What does it look like? Where is it? Choose Window, Workspace, Reset Essentials, so we can reset the workspace. Then choose Window, Links. Select the icon.jpg image, you should see it in here somewhere, in the Links panel. Click the Show Link Info here so you can see some information about it. Click the Go to Link button right here, and that should show you which one it's talking about. All right, choose Select Deselect, and save your file. Select Deselect. If you've placed an image and you realize you want to replace it, you can do that easily. Click the Mountain 2 JPEG right here that we had placed first. In the Links panel, you'll see it highlighted. It's some wacky name right here. That's fine. That's basically because we cropped it. All right. Click the Relink button if you want to relink to another image. In the dialog box that opens, in the Images folder, select the mountains1.jpg file. Make sure the link option is selected so that we link to it, and click Place. It just replaced the image in there, and you can now see mountains1.jpg and the link icon. All right, That's it. Choose Select, Deselect, save your file, and close up all the open files. So let's start this lesson. Make sure you reset the default preferences and you start Illustrator. Let's open up a file. Choose File, Open, or click Open. Go into the Lessons, Lesson 16 folder and open up the L16 Start 1 file. Go ahead and open that up. And you're probably going to see this warning dialog box. That means that there was a linked file and it can't find it. We're going to fix this when we get in. So what I want you to do is select Apply to All and then click Ignore. That's going to open up the panel here, the links panel, and also it's going to go in and say, okay, here's your file. You might see the missing fonts dialog box if you skip lesson 15. Go through that, activate the fonts, and then come here. Let's save this file by choosing File, Save As. Save in your computer. Call it Travel App. Oops. Make sure Illustrator is chosen for the format or save as type and save it. Click OK in the Illustrator Options dialog box. Let's reset the workspace. This is the last lesson we're going to do this in. Essentials. Reset Essentials. And then fit everything in the window by choosing View, Fit All in Window. Now we'll fix that missing image link we saw in the beginning. Choose Window Links to open up the Links panel. We saw this in the previous lesson. You should see the ocean.jpg image here as a missing link icon, that right there. At the bottom of the panel, click the Go to Link button. So go ahead and select it, and then come down here and choose Go to Link. That'll show you which one's missing. Now we're going to relink it. So click the Relink button here. Go to the Lesson 16 Images folder and select the ocean.jpg image. Make sure link is selected so we link to it, and click Place. Alright, the ocean JPEG is now linked, it's fixed, you can see it there, and we're all good. Choose Select, Deselect, save the file, and close the Links panel group. If you need to take an Illustrator file that's got links in it and send it to someone else, you can package it. So let's do that. Choose File, Package, right there. And what we're going to do is it's going to make a folder for us. It's going to copy everything and put it in that folder so we can give it to someone or post it somewhere or, whatever we need to do. Click the folder icon here and make sure you're in the Lesson 16 folder. There we go, something like that. I'll choose that. Make sure the folder name is called Social. I'll change that, whoops. That's going to create a folder, and that's going to be the folder name in that other folder. Leave all these alone, because it's going to copy everything, including fonts if it can. Click Package. Click OK in the next dialog box. It's just saying there are font restrictions. You got to be careful. It's copying everything now. And here we go. All done. You can click Show Package if you want. It's going to show you the actual links in here, the Illustrator file, any links available that were there, and there we go. Return to Illustrator. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a PDF. It's really easy. Choose File, Save As. If you see this Cloud Document dialog box, click Save on your computer. Choose Adobe PDF from the Format or Save As Type menu. Make sure that All is selected so that all of the pages, which are artboards, are saved. Click Save. Now you can save PDFs in all different kinds of ways. There are tons of presets up here. Printing presets, small file size to email if you want to, things like that. Illustrator default is a pretty safe one if you're just trying to like send this to someone to look at. It does include the layers. You can open the PDF in Illustrator and everything will be editable for the most part. That's cool. Click Save PDF. And that's pretty much it. It's going to do it. And you're going to see right now that you actually have the PDF file open. That's crazy. Go ahead and choose File Close to close the PDF. And we're going to move on. Now we're going to talk about previewing artwork in Pixel Preview and taking a look at Pixel Perfect drawings. So let's go to File Open or click Open. In the Lessons Lesson 16 folder, select the L16 Start2.ai file and open that up. All right, choose File, Document Color Mode, and you can see that this is right now RGB. You can set up a document in RGB or CMYK, and CMYK is typically for printing, RGB is usually for viewing on screen, also for printing, depends on what you're doing. All right, in the document, why don't you go ahead and choose View, Fit All in Window, so you can see the whole thing. Click the Earth icon here in the middle, and then press Command and plus or Control and plus to zoom in. Choose View, Pixel Preview. Now you can see the pixel edges right there. What it's doing is it rasterized it on screen just to see what it looks like. It's still vector. You can still do things to it and do what you need to do with it, but it's just viewing it for you. This is great if maybe you're trying to create something for the web or something for an app, you know, that kind of thing, to see what it might look like. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about aligning artwork to the pixel grid so that we can make sure that things look crisp and clean when we export them. To start, choose View, Fit Artboard in Window. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to align content to the pixel grid. Pixel grid is a grid made of columns and rows that are the size of a pixel, essentially, each one. With the selection tool selected, click the blue button shape by search. Zoom in by pressing Command plus or Control plus so you can see it much closer. And if you get far enough in, you zoom far enough in, that's 600% or greater, you're going to see the pixel grid. See it right there? That's the size, each one of these is the size of a pixel. All right, press Delete or Backspace to remove the rectangle. Select the rectangle tool. You're going to draw one now. And just drag to draw one roughly the size it was. If you look at the edges, notice how they're kind of soft, a little bit fuzzy. That's because it's not snapping to the grid. Press Delete or Backspace to remove it. Choose View, Snap to Pixel. That's going to make it so that when you draw or create or resize or whatever, it's going to snap it to that grid in the background. Go ahead and draw and see what happens. You're going to feel it snapping in. And let go. Look at the edges. They're crisp and clean now. All right, click the Arrange button over here and choose Send to Back to send it behind the search text. With the selection tool selected, drag it just so it's positioned kind of like that. There we go. Now you can also align existing artwork to the pixel grid, and that's what we're going to do. Press Command and minus on Mac or Control and minus to zoom out. The grid should disappear. So if it's less than 600%, you see down here. Mine's at 400% zoom. Click the blue stroked rectangle surrounding the rectangle you just drew. Now to align that to the pixel grid, you can come over here and click Align to Pixel Grid. That snaps it to the grid. Now you can't see the grid, but it's there. It's working. Click to select the blue V here and choose Object, Make Pixel Perfect. That's the same thing as clicking the button over there. Look what it says. It can't be made pixel perfect. It can't be snapped to the grid because there's no straight lines. In other words, there are no vertical and horizontal lines in it. All right, now click the square around it. Zoom into it by pressing Command and plus or Control and plus. You can see the grid again. Drag the top bounding point up and see what happens. It actually snaps to the grid. That's what happens by default after we turned on snap to pixel right there. All right, choose Edit, Undo Scale. And then click the Align to Pixel Grid button over here, and that aligns it to the grid. Press the Shift key and click the V to select that as well. Click the edge of the square. We're going to make this the key object, so we align the V to that. Click the horizontal align center button here and the vertical align center button here. There we go. All right, choose Select Deselect and save your file. We make artwork so we can do something with it, right? Well, we can export both artboards and artwork. In this video, we're going to export artboards. So choose View, Pixel Preview to turn it off. You should see the vector artwork again. Choose View, Fit Artboard Window, so everything is out there. You can see it all. Now let's suppose we want to export the entire artboard here, the poster. Choose File, Export, Export for Screens. With the Artboard tab selected, you can go in here and export the artboards. You can choose a range if you want to, which artboards. You can include the bleed or not. You can do the full document to do everything, so you see all the artboards as one. You can export it to a certain folder if you want to. So click that, and make sure you're in the Lesson 16 folder. You can set a format. So come down here and choose JPEG 80. 80 is the quality, if you will. 100 is great, excellent quality, but a bigger file size. 20 or lower, that kind of thing, it's going to look bad, but it's really small in file size. Okay, click Export Artboard, and it just puts, if you look right here, 1x, there's the JPEG right there. So it names it according to what we did, 80 JPEG, and saves the JPEG for us. All right, go ahead and close the folder, go back to Illustrator. The last thing we're going to do is show you how to export individual assets. Suppose you wanted to export like this icon or this icon. We can do that really easily. With the selection tool selected, click the Venus artwork here, and then press Command and plus or Control and plus to zoom into it so you can see it. Press the Shift key and click the Earth artwork here. Now we're going to save both of those. Choose Window, Asset Export. That's going to open the Asset Export panel. This is where you can drag content in and save it. So drag the artwork into the panel, let go, and it's going to save it as two separate assets. All right, now you can come in here to Asset 1 and name it Venus. This one can be Earth. We'll do that. Press Return or Enter when you're done. Now, with these in here, these are going to be saved in the file forever. So if you send this file to someone else, they're going to see these in Asset Export as well. So you can set a lot of this up for people. Click the Venus thumbnail, and you can come down here and set up settings for yourself. Choose SVG, so we can save it as SVG. But maybe we want another version as well. We need an SVG file, but we also need a ping. Click Add Scale. This adds another export asset that is scaled, but we can change that. So choose 1x, so it's going to be 100%, and make sure the format is set to ping. So we're going to get this Venus asset as an SVG and a ping, not Earth because it's not selected right now. Click Export, and it's going to ask you where you want to put it. I'll put it here, or actually we're going to put it in the Asset Export folder, sorry. And then choose it, and it just saved it out. To show you, take a look right here. 1x, there's the ping, and there's the SVG file. It saves things in separate folders. You can turn that off. It's a preference in the dialog box. But we've now got our images. So back over in Illustrator, go ahead and save everything, close everything, and that's it. That's the end of the book.
and you have Adobe InDesign. It's one of my favorites. It's a page layout software that's commonly used for print and digital publications, such as books, magazines, brochures, and newsletters. And in this course, you will learn the fundamentals of InDesign. You'll start out looking at the navigation and interface. You'll learn how to navigate through the InDesign interface, be able to customize it to your preferences, which will allow you to work more efficiently. You'll learn how to create and set up a new document, including setting the page size, margins, and bleed. You'll look at the text and typography. You'll learn how to create and format text, work with typography, and add special effects, such as drop caps and text wrap. You'll work with images and graphics. You'll learn how to import and work with images and graphics, including cropping, scaling, and applying effects. Then there's layout and design. You'll learn how to create layouts, add elements such as tables, charts, graphic elements, and use tools such as parent pages to streamline the design process. Then you're going to export and share. You'll learn how to export your InDesign documents for print and digital distribution, as well as how to share your work with others. By the end of the course, you'll have a solid understanding of the tools and techniques necessary to create professional quality layouts and publications in InDesign. Remember I mentioned that you need to make sure you reset the default preferences and settings for each program? Well, let's talk about that now. For Adobe InDesign, it's slightly different. While starting the program, hold down Ctrl-Alt-Shift on Windows or Command-Option-Shift and Control on macOS to reset the default settings. Click Yes when asked if you want to delete preference files. And then you're all set to go. The intuitive Adobe InDesign interface makes it easy to create compelling layouts. And it's important to understand the InDesign work area to make the most of its powerful layout and design capabilities. The customizable work area consists of the document window, menus, pasteboard, and panels such as the tools, properties, and control panels. In this lesson, you'll learn how to do the following: open documents, select and use tools, view information in the properties panel, use the control panel, manage document windows, work with panels, customize the workspace, change the magnification of a document, navigate through a document, use context menus and panel menus, and change interface preferences. In this lesson, you'll practice using tools and panels and navigating through a simple layout. You will use this document only to explore the InDesign work area. The lesson file represents the final version of the document. You will not make permanent changes to objects, add graphics, or modify text. Rather, you will reverse any changes you make using Edit, Undo. Building a habit with the Undo feature helps you experiment and recover from any mistakes. Start InDesign. The InDesign home screen displays. Now click the Open button. If the home screen does not display, choose File, Open from the InDesign menu bar. Open the 01_start.indd file in the Lesson 01 folder, located inside the Lessons folder within the InDesign CIB folder on your hard drive. If an alert informs you that the document contains links to sources that have been modified, click Update Modified Links. If any Learning Resource panels display, close them by clicking Ignore or a close box. Now choose File, Save As. rename the file 01_intro.indd and save it in the Lesson 01 folder. Using the scroll bars on the document window, scroll down to see the second page of the postcard, and then scroll back up to the first page of the postcard. The InDesign work area encompasses everything you see when you first open or create a document. By default, InDesign shows tools and panels available in the Essentials workspace. You can customize the InDesign work area to suit your work style. For example, you can choose to display only the panels you frequently use, minimize and rearrange panel groups, resize windows, and so on. By default, you will see the following: the menu bar at the top of the screen, the Tools panel docked at the left side of the screen, the Properties panel and other commonly used panels docked at the right side of the screen. The configuration of the panels in the work area is referred to as the workspace. You can save your custom workspace setup or choose among special purpose setups such as interactive for PDF, printing and proofing, and typography. The Tools panel contains tools for creating and modifying page objects, adding and formatting text and images, and working with color. By default, the Tools panel is docked to the upper left corner of the work area. In this exercise, you will select and experiment with several tools. The Selection tool lets you move and resize objects, and it lets you select objects for formatting, such as applying a fill color. Here, you will click to select the Selection tool. Later, you will experiment with other methods of selecting tools. Locate the Tools panel at the far left side of the screen. Point at each tool in the Tools panel to see its name. Click the Selection tool at the top of the Tools panel. Click near the hummingbird's beak to select the graphics frame containing the hummingbird photograph. Drag the frame up and to the left to see how frames move. The frame's location on the page is shown near the Selection tool pointer and in the Properties panel at the right. In addition to viewing information in this panel, you can make adjustments to selected objects. For example, you can crop the image to control the portions that display. After you release the mouse button, press Ctrl-Z on Windows or Command-Z on Mac OS to undo the move. With the Selection tool still selected, click other objects on the page and drag them to new locations. The page contains another image in a graphics frame, a rectangular text frame, and an elliptical text frame. Undo each move immediately after you do it. Now you will switch to the Type tool, which lets you enter, edit, and format text much like you would in a word processor or email application. Rather than clicking to select it, you will use its keyboard shortcut. Point at the Type tool to display its tooltip. The letter shown in parentheses indicates a single letter keyboard shortcut for selecting this tool. In this case, the letter is T. Point at various other tools to see their single letter keyboard shortcuts. Now press T on the keyboard to select the Type tool. Click after the word flower beds and the period on the right side of the postcard. Type a space and a few characters to get a feel for the Type tool. Press Ctrl-Z on Windows or Command-Z on Mac OS to undo any changes to the postcard text. With the type tool still selected, click in Other Words and revise the text. Undo each change after you finish typing. Now you will switch to the Line tool, which lets you create horizontal, vertical, and diagonal lines. Once you have experimented with the Line tool, you will select the Hand tool temporarily by holding its keyboard shortcut, H. When you release the keyboard shortcut, InDesign reverts to the previously selected tool. This technique is useful for quickly using a tool. For example, you might use the Hand tool to move to another area of a page and then create a line there. Click the Line tool to select it. Drag to create a line anywhere on the page. With the Line tool still selected, press and hold the H key on the keyboard. While you hold the H key, the Hand tool is selected. Drag the Hand tool around to view another area of the page. When you release the H key, the Line tool remains selected. Now press Ctrl Z on Windows or Command Z on Mac OS to undo the line creation. So far you have selected tools that display on the Tools panel in 3 ways: clicking them, pressing a keyboard shortcut, and holding a keyboard shortcut to select the tool temporarily. Now you will select a tool that is not visible on the Tools panel. A small triangle in the lower right corner of a tool indicates a menu of additional hidden tools. In this exercise, you will create frames by selecting and using the Rectangle Frame tool, and then the Ellipse Frame tool. When designing a document, you would create these frames to contain imported graphics and text. First, choose View, Screen Mode, Normal, so that you can see the frames that contain graphics and text. Press F on the keyboard to select the Rectangle Frame tool. Scroll to the left to view the pasteboard surrounding the document. Click and drag to create a rectangular graphics frame. Press Ctrl Z on Windows or Command Z on Mac OS to undo the frame creation. To see the Ellipse Frame tool, press and hold on the Rectangle Frame tool to display additional hidden tools. Select the Ellipse Frame tool and notice how it replaces the Rectangle Frame tool. Drag to create an oval graphics frame anywhere on the page or pasteboard. Notice the object placement information shown in the Transform area of the Properties panel. Press Ctrl Z or Command Z as many times as necessary to undo the frame creation. Press and hold the Ellipse Frame tool to display the menu, and choose the Rectangle Frame tool to display it again. This is the default tool that displays. Review the remaining hidden tools. Click each tool with a triangle and hold down the mouse button to see its menu of additional tools. The tools with menus for hidden tools include Content Collector, type, pen, pencil, rectangle frame, rectangle, free transform, color theme, view options, and screen mode. InDesign provides many more panels than are shown in the default Essentials workspace. In this exercise, you will switch to the Advanced workspace to view the control panel, which displays immediately below the menu bar and offers quick access to expansive options for editing selected objects. Depending on your screen size, you may prefer to use the control panel as it takes up less space than the Properties panel. As with the Properties panel, the control panel is context sensitive, which means it displays settings based on what you have selected on the page. Additionally, the control panel displays more or fewer settings depending on the size of your screen. To see the panels and menu commands used in this lesson, choose Window, Workspace, Advanced, and then choose Window, Workspace, Reset Advanced. Notice the control panel across the top of the screen. If necessary, choose View, Screen Mode, Normal, so that you can see the frames that contain graphics and text. In the Tools panel, select the Direct Selection tool. Click the hummingbird image. The control panel provides options for controlling the size and position of the graphics frame, the scale of the image, and other attributes. In the control panel, click the up and down arrows next to the Scale X percentage and Scale Y percentage fields to see how you can resize the image. Press Ctrl-Z on Windows or Command-Z on Mac OS as many times as necessary to undo any changes. In the Tools panel, select the Type tool. Click in the word Hummingbird in the headline. The control panel now provides options for controlling paragraph and character formatting. If necessary, click Character Formatting Controls at the far left side of the control panel. Double-click to select the word Hummingbird, and click once on the down arrow on the font size field as shown to decrease the size of the type. Press Ctrl-Z or Command-Z to undo the change. Click the pasteboard, the blank area outside the pages, to deselect the text. The document window and pasteboard have the following characteristics. Controls for displaying different pages in the document are in the lower left corner of the document window. Each page or spread is surrounded by its own pasteboard. You can use the pasteboard as a work area or storage area, for example, to place design elements not yet included in the page layout. Now you will look at the pasteboard and review features in the document window. To see all the pages in the document and the pasteboard, you will decrease the view scale. Click the Zoom Level menu in the lower left corner of the document window, and then select 75% from the menu. In the 75% view, you will see a circular text frame on the pasteboard to the right of page 1. In the Tools panel, select the Selection tool. Click the circular text frame which contains the words Free Community Workshop Series. Drag the frame to the document page and see how it looks in various spots. Press Ctrl-Z on Windows or Command-Z on Mac OS to undo the change. Now choose View, Fit Page in Window. In the lower left corner of the document window, click the arrow next to the page number field to display a menu of document pages and parent pages. Choose 2 from the menu to display page 2 in the document window. Click the arrow to the left of the page number field to turn back to page 1. Then choose View, Screen Mode, Preview to hide the frame guides. When you open multiple documents, each document displays in its own tab of the main document window. You can also open multiple windows for a single document so that you can see different parts of the layout at one time. Essentially, you can see more than one view of a document at the same time. Here, you'll create a second window so that you can see how changes to the headline affect the entire page. The techniques you use here for arranging document windows can be used with different views of the same document and for any other open documents. Choose Window, Arrange, New Window for 01_intro.indd. A new window titled 01_intro.indd2 opens. The original window is now titled 01_intro.indd1. Select the Zoom tool in the Tools panel. In the second window, 01_intro.indd2, click 3 times on the word Workshop to zoom in on the text. Notice that the other window stays at its original magnification. Press T on the keyboard to select the Type tool. In the second window, click at the end of the word Workshop and add an S to make it plural, workshops. Notice the change in both windows. Press Ctrl Z on Windows or Command Z on Mac OS to restore the word Workshop. Choose Window, Arrange, New Window for 01_intro.indd to create an additional window. Choose Options from the Window Arrange submenu to see the various ways to arrange open windows. Choose Window, Arrange, Consolidate all windows. This creates a tab for each window. Click the tabs in the upper left corner below the control panel to control which document window to display. Click the Close Document Window button on all the additional tabs, leaving one open. It doesn't matter which one remains open. If necessary, choose View, Fit Page and Window. InDesign provides many panels that provide quick access to commonly used tools and features. By default, various useful panels are docked at the right side of the screen. Think of a dock as a collection of panels glued together. The panels that display are different depending on the selected workspace, and each workspace remembers its panel configuration. You can reorganize panels in various ways. Here, you'll experiment with opening, collapsing, grouping, stacking, and closing the default panels in the advanced workspace. Feel free to experiment with panels as much as you want, as selecting Window, Workspace, Reset Advanced will restore the panels to their original locations. To display a hidden panel, choose the panel name from the window menu, or a submenu of the window menu. Various text formatting panels are available in the Type menu as well. If the panel name has a check mark in the menu, it is already open and in front of any other panels in the panel group. In this exercise, you will open, use, and close the Info panel, which provides feedback about anything you select in the document. First, choose Window, Info to open the Info panel. In the Tools panel, select the Selection tool. Point at and click various objects on the page to view their details. Choose Window, Info again to close the Info panel. Many panels have keyboard shortcuts shown in the window menu. The keyboard shortcuts let you toggle panels open and closed. Press Ctrl-Alt-6 on Windows or Command-Option-6 on Mac OS to close the control panel. Press the keyboard shortcut again to reopen it. In this exercise, you will expand and collapse a panel, hide the panel names, and expand all the panels in the dock. In the dock to the right of the document window, click the Pages panel icon to expand the Pages panel. Clicking a panel icon is handy if you want to open a panel, use it briefly, and then close it. When you've finished using the Pages panel, click the double arrow to the right of the panel names or click the Pages panel icon again to collapse the panel. To reduce the width of the panel dock, drag the left edge of the panel dock to the right until the names are hidden. To expand all the panels in the dock so that you can see all their controls, click the double arrow in the upper right corner of the dock. For the next exercise, you will leave the panels expanded. In this exercise, you will drag a single panel out of the dock to create a free floating panel. Then you will drag another panel into that panel to create a custom panel group. You will also ungroup the panels, stack them, and minimize them. Locate the Paragraph Styles panel toward the bottom of the panels docked at the right. You will detach this from the dock to create a floating panel. Click the Paragraph Styles tab in the dock, and then drag the panel away from the dock. This removes the panel from the dock. Now you'll add the Character Styles panel to the Floating Paragraph Styles panel to create a panel group. Locate the Character Styles panel toward the bottom of the panel dock. Drag its tab into the gray area to the right of the Paragraph Styles panel tab. Release the mouse button when the blue line appears along the perimeter of the Paragraph Styles panel. To ungroup the panels, drag one of the panel tabs out of the panel group. You can also stack floating panels in a vertical arrangement. You'll try that now. Drag the tab of the Character Styles panel to the bottom of the Paragraph Styles panel. Release the mouse button when a blue line appears. The panels are now stacked rather than grouped. Stacked panels attach vertically to each other. You can move the panels as a unit by dragging the topmost title bar. Next, you'll experiment with resizing the stacked panels. Drag the lower right corner of the panel stack to resize it. Regroup the panels by dragging the tab of the Character Styles panel up next to the Paragraph Styles panel tab. Minimize the panel group by double-clicking the gray area to the right of a panel's tab. Double-click the area again to expand the panels. Leave the panels this way to be saved with a workspace in a later exercise. When working in the advanced workspace, it's likely that you will keep the Tools panel and the Control panel open all the time. However, as with all other panels, you can move them to best suit your own work style. Here, you will experiment with moving these panels. To undock the Tools panel and make it float in the workspace, drag the panel by its dotted bar to pull it into the pasteboard. When the Tools panel is floating, it could be a 2-column vertical panel, a single-column vertical panel, or a single-column horizontal row. The Tools panel must be floating, not docked, to display horizontally. With the Tools panel floating, click the double arrow at the top of the panel. The Tools panel becomes one horizontal row. Click the double arrow on the Tools panel to turn it into a 2-column vertical panel. To dock the Tools panel again, drag the dotted bar at the top of the Tools panel to the far left edge of the screen. Release the Tools panel when a blue line appears along the edge of the workspace. Click the double arrow again to return to the default Tools panel. The Control panel can be moved if you don't like it docked at the top of the document window. In the Control panel, drag the vertical dotted bar at the left in the document window. Release the mouse button to make the panel float. To dock the panel again, click the Control panel menu button at the far right and choose Dock at Top. A workspace is a configuration of panels and menus. The configuration of document windows, however, is not saved in workspaces. InDesign provides a variety of workspaces for special purposes, such as interactive for PDF, printing and proofing, and typography. You cannot modify the provided workspaces, but you can save your own. In this exercise, you will save the panel configuration from the previous exercises. Choose Window, Workspace, New Workspace. In the New Workspace dialog, type Styles in the name field. If necessary, select Panel Locations and Menu Customization. Click OK. If an alert displays indicating that the workspace already exists, click OK to replace the existing workspace. Now choose Window, Workspace to see that your custom workspace is selected. The name of the selected workspace, Styles, also displays in the Workspace Switcher menu at the far right of the Control panel. Click this menu and select a different workspace. To see the different panel and menu configurations, choose each option from the Window Workspace submenu or the Workspace Switcher menu in the upper right corner of the document window. To restore the workspace, choose Window, Workspace, Advanced, and then choose Window, Workspace, Reset Advanced. Controls in InDesign let you view documents at any zoom level from 5% to 4000%. When a document is open, the current magnification percentage is displayed next to the file name in the Documents tab. You can easily enlarge or reduce the view of a document by doing any of the following. Choose View, Zoom In to enlarge the display by one preset increment. Choose View, Zoom Out to reduce the display by one preset increment. Choose View, Fit Page in Window to center and display the page in the window. Choose View, Fit Spread in Window to center and display the current spread in the window. A spread is multiple pages displayed side by side. Choose View, Actual Size to display the document at 100%. Choose a percentage from the zoom level menu in the lower left corner of the document window to enlarge or reduce the display by any preset increment. Type a percentage in the zoom level field by clicking in the field, typing the desired viewing percentage, and then pressing the Enter key on Windows or the Return key on macOS. Press Ctrl and the equal sign on Windows or Command and the equal sign on macOS to increase the magnification by one preset increment. Press Ctrl minus on Windows or Command minus on macOS to decrease the magnification by one preset increment. In addition to the view command, so you can use the zoom tool to magnify and reduce the view of a document. You might zoom in on a text frame to revise text, for example. In this exercise, you'll experiment with the zoom tool. Choose View, Actual Size to view the document at 100%. Select the zoom tool in the Tools panel and position it near the hummingbird on the left side of page 1. Notice that a plus sign appears in the center of the zoom tool. Click 3 times. The view changes to the next preset magnification centered on the point where you clicked. The preset magnifications include 5%, 12.5%, 25%, 50%, 75%, 100%, 125%, 150%, 200%, 300%, 400%, 600%, 800%, 1200%, 1600%, 2400%, 3200%, and 4000%. Now you'll reduce the view. Position the zoom tool over the hummingbird image and hold down the Alt key on Windows or the Option key on macOS. A minus sign appears in the center of the zoom tool. While holding the Alt or Option key, click 3 times to reduce the view scale. To magnify a specific area, you can drag the zoom tool around that area. The percentage by which the area is magnified depends on the size of the marquee. The smaller the marquee, the larger the degree of magnification. Scroll as necessary to see the text starting with Learn to Select. With the zoom tool still selected, zoom in on the text frame. Now choose View, Fit Page in Window. Because the zoom tool is used frequently during the design and editing processes, you can temporarily select it from the keyboard at any time without deselecting the tool you are using. To try this, click the selection tool in the Tools panel and position it anywhere in the document window. Hold down Ctrl spacebar on Windows or Command spacebar on macOS so that the selection tool icon allows you to zoom, and then click the hummingbird to magnify the view. Hold down Ctrl, Alt, and the spacebar on Windows or Command Option and the spacebar on macOS to reduce the view. When you release the keys, the pointer returns to the selection tool. Choose View, Screen Mode, Preview, and then choose View, Fit Page in Window to center the page again. InDesign offers several different ways to navigate through a document, including the Pages panel, the Hand tool, the Go to Page dialog box, scroll bars, and controls in the document window. As you work with InDesign, you'll find that you prefer certain methods over others. Once you find a method you like, remember any shortcuts to make that method easier. You can navigate document pages using the Pages panel, the page icons at the bottom of the document window, the scroll bars, or a variety of other methods. The Pages panel displays an icon for each page in the document. Double-clicking any page icon or page number in the panel brings that page or spread into view. In this exercise, you will experiment with turning pages. Click the Pages panel icon to expand the Pages panel if necessary. Double-click the Page 2 icon to display the second page centered in the document window. Double-click the Page 1 icon to center the first page in the document window. To return to the second page of the document, use the menu in the lower left corner of the document window. Click the down arrow and choose 2. You will now use the arrow buttons at the bottom of the document window to display a different page. Click the previous page button, left-facing arrow, next to the page number field to switch pages until the first page is displayed. Click the Next Page button, the right-facing arrow, next to the page number field until the second page is displayed. Now choose Layout, go to Page. In the Page field, type 1 or select 1 from the menu. Click OK. The Hand tool in the Tools panel lets you push the pages of a document around until the area you want to view is visible. In this exercise, you will experiment with the Hand tool. Choose 400% from the Zoom Level menu on the lower left corner of the document window. Now select the Hand tool. Drag in any direction to move the page around, and then drag upward in the document window to display page 2. With the Hand tool still selected, click the page and hold the mouse button down to power zoom. With the mouse button still held down, drag to zoom into the area of the page you want to view. Double-click the Hand tool in the Tools panel to fit the page in the document window. Context menus display commands relevant to the active tool or selection. For example, if a text frame is selected, the context menu lets you access the text frame options dialog, the lock command, the effects submenu, and more. To display a context menu, right-click as follows. Position the pointer over a selected object or anywhere in the document window and click with the right mouse button. If you have a one-button mouse, press Ctrl and hold down the mouse button. Using the Selection tool, click any object on the page, such as the text frame containing the postcard's return address, starting with Urban Oasis Gardens. Right-click the text frame. Note the available options. Continue to right-click different types of objects on page 1 and page 2 to display their context menus to see the available commands. When you're finished reviewing the context menus, use the scroll bars to return to page 2 if necessary. Most panels have additional panel-specific options. Clicking the panel menu button displays a menu of additional commands related to the panel's function, along with options for customizing the panel. In this exercise, you will change the display of the Swatches panel. Locate the Swatches panel on the dock. If necessary, choose Window, Color, swatches to display it. Drag the swatches panel out of the dock at the right to create a free floating panel. If necessary, click the double arrow in its title bar to expand the swatches panel. In the upper right corner of the swatches panel, click the panel menu button to display the panel menu. You can use the swatches panel menu to create new color swatches, load swatches from another document, and more. Choose large thumbnail from the swatches panel menu to see how a panel's display can be customized. Note the other options on the menu as well. To restore the panel, choose large list from the swatches panel menu. You can customize the InDesign interface through preferences, including changing the overall color, the way various tools work, how the panels are configured, and how the interface scales based on screen resolution. Some settings in the Preferences dialog box affect the application, InDesign itself, whereas others affect only the active document. For example, changes to autocorrect preferences are document specific, as preferred spellings may change among clients. If you change the document-specific preferences while no documents are open, the changes affect all new documents without affecting existing documents. Here, you will look at the interface preferences that affect how InDesign works with all documents. Choose Edit, Preferences, Interface on Windows, or InDesign, Preferences, Interface on macOS to customize the appearance of InDesign. In the Appearance area, experiment with other options for the color theme. Leave the setting at your preference. Medium dark is the default. The screen captures in this book represent the medium light interface. Click User Interface Scaling to see the scaling options available for scaling interface controls according to your screen resolution. In the Preferences dialog box, click through the list at the left to see other options for customizing InDesign. For example, the Units and Increments tab lets you specify the measurement system, points, picas, inches, on the ruler. When you are finished reviewing preferences, click OK. Congratulations! You've learned the basics of InDesign interface elements such as tools and panels. Revisit this lesson as necessary for a refresher on panel management, zooming, and more. The building blocks of an Adobe InDesign layout are objects, text, and graphics. Layout aids such as guides help with size and placement, and styles let you format page elements automatically. In this lesson, you'll learn how to do the following: view layout aids, type and style text, import text and thread text frames, import a graphic, move, rotate, fill, and stroke outline an object, add a QR code, automate formatting with paragraph, character, and object styles, check on potential production issues with the pre-flight panel, and preview a document in presentation mode. The document for this lesson is a standard size postcard designed to be printed and mailed. In addition, the postcard can be exported as a JPEG to use in email marketing. As you will see in this lesson, the building blocks of an InDesign document are essentially the same, regardless of the output media. In this lesson, you will add the text, images, and formatting necessary to finish the postcard. Start Adobe InDesign. When the InDesign home screen displays, click the Open button at the left. If the home screen does not display, choose File, Open from the InDesign menu bar. Now open the 02_start.indd file in the Lesson 02 folder located inside the Lessons folder within the InDesign CIB folder on your hard drive. If an alert informs you that the document contains links to sources that have been modified, click Update Modified Links. Now choose File, Save As. Rename the file 02_postcard.indd and save it in the Lesson 02 folder. This lesson uses the default Essentials workspace. If necessary, choose Window, Workspace, Essentials, and then choose Window, Workspace, Reset Essentials. If you want to see what the finished document looks like, open the 02_n.indd file in the same folder. You can leave this document open to act as a guide as you work. When you're ready to resume working on the lesson document, display it by clicking its tab in the upper left corner of the document window. Revising or completing an existing document, as you will do in this lesson, is typical work for entry-level InDesign users. Currently, the postcard document is displayed in preview mode, which displays artwork in a standard window, hiding non-printing elements such as guides, grids, frame edges, and hidden characters. To work on this document, you will view guides and hidden characters, such as spaces and tabs. Click and hold down the Screen Mode button at the bottom of the Tools panel and choose Normal from the menu. Any layout aids previously enabled now display. For example, light blue non-printing lines now indicate existing text frames and objects because frame edges were already displayed. View, Extras, Show Frame Edges. You will now enable other layout aids. Choose View, Grids and Guides, Show Guides. When guides are displayed, it's easy to position objects with precision, including automatically snapping text frames and graphic frames into place. The guides do not print and do not indicate print or export area. Now choose Type, Show Hidden Characters. Displaying hidden non-printing characters such as tabs, spaces, and paragraph returns helps you precisely select and style text. In general, it's a good idea to show hidden characters whenever you are editing or formatting text. As you work on this document, use the skills you learned in Lesson 1 to move panels, scroll, and zoom as necessary. With InDesign, most text is contained by a text frame. Text can be contained in table cells and flow along paths as well. You can type text directly into a text frame or import text files from word processing programs. When importing text files, you can add the text to existing frames or create new frames to contain the text. If text doesn't fit within a single frame, you can link multiple text frames using a process called threading. You will learn more about flowing text, including dividing text frames into columns in Lesson 6, Flowing Text. You're ready to start working on the incomplete postcard. To get started, you'll edit and style the text under the headline. Select the Type tool, and click immediately after the word cafe. Press backspace on Windows or delete on Mac OS 4 times to delete the word cafe. Type bistro in the text frame so that the restaurant's descriptor is changed from cafe and bar to bistro and bar. With the insertion point still in the text, triple-click to select bistro and bar. Locate the character controls of the Properties panel at the right. From the Font Style menu, select Bold. Click outside the text frame to deselect the text. Now choose File, Save to save your work. In most publishing workflows, writers and editors use word processors. When the text is almost final, they'll send the files to graphic designers. To complete the postcard, you will import a Microsoft Word file into a text frame at the bottom of the page using the Place command. You will then link the first text frame to the second frame. All the text in a series of threaded text frames is called a story. Using the selection tool, click a blank area of the pasteboard to make sure no objects are selected. Choose File, Place. At the bottom of the Place dialog box, make sure that Show Import Options is not selected. On Mac OS, click Options if necessary to see Show Import Options. Navigate to the Lesson 02 folder in the Lessons folder and double-click the bistro.docx file. The pointer changes to a loaded text icon. You'll add this text to the text frame in the lower left quadrant of the postcard. The text frames are outlined by light blue non-printing lines. Position the loaded text icon in the text frame, and then click. The text in the Word file fills the frame, but it may not all fit. A red plus sign in the out port of the frame, in the frame's lower right corner, indicates overset text. You will thread the two bottom text frames so the text flows through them. Using the selection tool, select the text frame that now contains the text. Click the out port of the selected frame to display the loaded text icon. Click in the text frame immediately to the right. At this point, text likely remains overset. You will resolve this problem by formatting the text with styles later in this lesson. Now choose File, Save. InDesign provides paragraph styles, character styles, and object styles for quickly and consistently formatting text and objects. Another significant reason to use styles is that you can make global changes, such as changing the body text font or adjusting a drop shadow by simply editing the style. This can save you hours in making revisions to long documents, such as books. Styles work as follows. A paragraph style includes all text formatting attributes such as font, size, and alignment, and applies to all the text in a paragraph. You can select a paragraph for formatting by clicking in it, highlighting any part of it, or highlighting all of it. A character style includes only character attributes, such as font style, bold or italic, and color, and applies only to selected text within a paragraph. Character styles are generally applied to call attention to specific text within a paragraph. An object style lets you apply formatting such as fill and stroke color, stroke styles and corner effects, transparency, drop shadows, feathering, text frame options, and text wrap to selected objects. Because the postcard is part of a series, all the paragraph styles you need are already created. You will first apply the body copy style to all the text in the 2 threaded text frames, and then you will apply the subhead style to the headings. Using the Type tool, click in one of the text frames containing the newly imported text. Then choose Edit, select All to select all the text in the story. Click the Paragraph Styles button at the top of the Properties panel. Click the Paragraph Styles menu and select the Body Copy style to format the entire story. Using the Type tool, click in the first line of the text in the story, Starters and Small Plates. As you can see from the hidden character, the paragraph return, at the end of the line, this line is actually its own paragraph. Therefore, it can be formatted with a paragraph style. Select the subhead style from the Paragraph Styles menu in the Properties panel. Apply the subhead paragraph style to the Entrees and Desserts subhead as well. Then choose Edit, deselect all, and then choose File, Save. Highlighting a few keywords in a paragraph can draw readers into the text. For the postcard copy, you will format a few words to make them pop and then create a character style based on those words. You can then quickly apply the character style to other selected words. Using the Zoom tool, zoom in on the first text frame in the lower left quadrant of the postcard. This frame contains the subhead Starters and Small Plates. Using the Type tool, select the V in the first paragraph of body copy. Be sure to include the parentheses. In the character controls of the Properties panel at the right, select Italic from the Type Style menu. Click the Fill box to display the document's color swatches. Click the red swatch named Red Bright to apply the color to the text. Click the pasteboard to deselect the text and view your changes. Then choose File, Save. Now that you have formatted the text, you are ready to create a character style based on that formatting. Using the Type tool, select the newly formatted V in parentheses. Choose Type, Character Styles to display the Character Styles panel. Select New Character Style from the panel menu. The new Character Style dialog opens with a new style named Character Style 1. This new style includes the characteristics of the selected text as indicated in the Style Settings area of the dialog. In the Style Name field, type Red Italic. At the bottom of the new Character Style dialog, select Apply Style to Selection. Click OK. Using the Type tool, select the V, GF in parentheses later in the first paragraph. Click Red Italic in the Character Styles panel. Because you applied a character style instead of a paragraph style, the formatting affected only the selected text, not the entire paragraph. Using the Type tool, select the V in parentheses next to Fresh Basil Pesto in the text frame at right. Click Red Italic in the Character Styles panel. Repeat the process to apply the red italic character style to the V, GF in parentheses and the trailing period at the end of the paragraph. Choose Type, Character Styles to close the panel, and then choose File, Save. To add the final design element to the postcard, you'll import, resize, and position a graphic. Graphics used in InDesign documents are placed inside frames. In InDesign, you can use the selection tool to resize a graphics frame and to position the graphic within the frame. You will learn more about working with graphics in Lesson 11, importing and modifying graphics. First, choose View, Fit Page and Window. You will position the graphic in the upper right quadrant of the postcard. Make sure that no objects are selected by choosing Edit, Deselect All. Click the Import File button, the last option on the Properties panel at the right. In the Place dialog box, make sure that Show Import Options is not selected. Navigate to the Lesson 02 folder in the Lessons folder and double-click the Dining Room JPEG file. The loaded graphics icon displays a preview of the graphic. If you click the page, InDesign places the graphic at full size, inside an identically sized graphics frame. In this case, however, you will scale the graphic as you add it to the page. The resulting graphics frame will have the same dimensions as the graphic. The graphic will be placed in the upper right quadrant of the postcard. Position the loaded graphics icon at the intersection of the light blue and pink guides as shown. Drag down and to the right until the pointer touches the guide on the right side of the page. When you release the mouse button, the graphic is added to the page and a graphics frame is created automatically. You will now experiment with cropping a graphic by decreasing the size of the frame. And you will try moving the graphic within the frame. You will then undo these changes. Using the selection tool, select the middle handle at the bottom of the graphics frame and drag it up. You can crop the image by dragging any of its 8 resizing handles. Press Ctrl-Z on Windows or Command-Z on Mac OS to undo the crop. Still using the selection tool, position the pointer over the graphic to display the content grabber in the center of the graphic. Click the content grabber to select the graphic, and then drag up to position the image within the frame as you please. Press Ctrl-Z on Windows or Command-Z on Mac OS to undo the image move. The eventual position of the graphic should be where you placed it in Step 6. Then choose File, Save.